Hello, everybody. Good evening. It is Sunday night, and we are checking in for week 4. I'm going to get the comments up so that I can be sure and I can see everything going on that you might have a question about. So feel free, if you are watching live, you can tell me who you are, let me know you're watching, or if you're watching the replay, you can comment with any questions or comments or observations that you might want to share. And so I am going to pull up my screen so that we can share all about our observations that we compiled for week 4. Alrighty, so here we have everything. Let me grab this display. Perfect. So this week was all about our 4th week of using our DDR Prime blend, and this is using this blend with discipline and making sure that everyone is experiencing, just being aware. Hello, Beth. Hello, Heidi. Being aware of what your body is doing or what your children are feeling, and making sure that you are tapping into just observing, not necessarily making any huge, conclusions perhaps, unless you feel that they're very overt, but it's just been really great to see everyone's comments, and not everyone is going to experience the same thing. So it's very important that you not feel defeated if you're not feeling the same things that others are, and so I just want to encourage you to continue moving forward with your oils and all of that, and then we'll get into that as well. So tonight our agenda is that we are going to go over the stats summary and the notes as we compare to weeks 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to take a look at that pie chart that Colleen was so amazing and prepared for us so that she would be able to analyze all of that, and so that we could compare. Hello, Robin. Hello, Michelle. So everyone will be able to compare that to the weeks prior, so that you can feel comfortable with seeing what's happening globally for the team, but also just feel comfortable with how you are moving forward with your oil usage. And so then we're going to go over our wellness pipelines, of course, because it's important to be analyzing all the different areas of our wellness so that we can highlight areas that we might have improved, and we might not even be realizing that we're improving in those areas. Hello, everybody. I'm glad you guys are joining. And so then, and actually that was a little typo there on that screen from last week. And then we're going to do a reminder for posting your check-ins for the final days. So week 4, our observation stats are like this. Hello, Rachel. Glad you could join us. And week 4 was fantastic. You guys really shared a lot of insightful things. And it looks like something might be going on with the screen share. So let me actually move this out and see if we can get that to be more vivid colors, because I'm looking at the Facebook and it doesn't appear like it's bringing up the slides in their full color. So we'll see if there's anything we can do to fix that. All right, we are going to reshare and see if we can get the full color for those slides. If not, that's okay. All right, we'll see what we can do. So as you can see, better sleep and feeling rested and feeling restored was the #1 comment that we were receiving. Okay, there we go. Good. We're back in full color. Yay. So yeah, I wonder why. I think Facebook just likes to glitch and it likes to keep us on our toes. So as you can see, we have better sleep, feeling rested, feeling restored, an increase in expressive language, feeling calm, staying calm in stressful situations, increase of focus, feeling compliant, feeling confidence, feeling productive, and feeling an increase of energy. And so this is really great, because what happens sometimes is that after we've been maybe doing this protocol for a week or two, sometimes we tend to taper off and lose our focus. Hello, Sarah. Thanks for joining us. Hello, Robin. Hello, everybody. Sometimes it's easy for us to lose track and for us not to stay disciplined. And so I hope that if nothing else from this, you'll take away the importance of staying disciplined, because when you do, you start to see those patterns. You start to see those overt patterns that you're waking up feeling like you got a really deep sleep, or that you were dreaming in vivid detail. And that really signifies that your body is being able to take that downtime to restore, because when we're sleeping, that's when our body's repairing from all the stimuli that we experienced during our day and all the things that we are dealing with each day: emotions, mood, physical needs, our brain function, our organ function, our filter organs, everything. So it's a really encouraging thing to see this. And I was actually surprised. I didn't think that better sleep and feeling rested was going to be something that I would experience from using DDR Prime with discipline. I've never used the oil or the soft gel with this kind of discipline before. Before I was using it once a day, sometimes twice with my other vitamins, and this was really, really encouraging. So I hope that you will just take a look at these numbers and really see that regardless of where you fall in this, or if things that you were noticing, or maybe you didn't notice anything, that's okay, because everyone's body is so different. And we need to factor in bio-individuality. So if, just like I talked about last week, for some of you that might not feel like you're experiencing any changes or you're not observing any differences in your children, keep in mind that everyone's body reacts differently. Just like I talked about, that lavender is not an oil that makes me feel restful or calm or that I would use for sleep. It is very, very calming for so many people. And so I want you to feel that, that you have that opportunity to expand your reach with your oils and maybe try some other oils that you might not have tried before for rest and for calming. And if you have any questions or want any of those recommendations, let me know, because like for example, instead of lavender, we like cedarwood and wild orange together. That's really calming for us. That's kind of like a calm the wild beast type of blend that we use. And so I just want you to feel encouraged as well, that this study was not in any way meant to sway things one way or another. It's just to make observations. It's just, I want to observe behavior and see what trends that we can observe. So hopefully you will enjoy this, and I will share this slide in our group as well, so you have that screenshot of just this 1 week. Now, in comparison, Heidi, yes, definitely, yes, we can. Your son and I can hang out with some cedarwood and lavender, cedarwood and wild orange. So here on this slide, I compared all of these, and Colleen's saying that our body, our environment, and our family situations and our lifestyle all play a role in our observations. That's so true. And sometimes if we feel like maybe we are not necessarily open, maybe we don't want to see change, maybe we are not aware of things that might be changing, maybe we are resistant to seeing change because maybe we're afraid. Maybe we're afraid of change. Maybe we're afraid of what's unknown. And unfortunately, sometimes that can play a role, that if we have it in our mind, oh no, I'm not going to see a change. There's nothing that's changed. You might be analyzing things from a view where you might be realizing, okay, but it's, you know, maybe we've been traveling, or maybe we're off the routine, or maybe we're at grandma's house for a month and, you know, grandma's house is different, or maybe just, you know, anything in our daily routine can shift, and that can totally affect us. And you know, we just want to stay open-minded, really. This is your journey. This is not for anyone to tell you what's right or wrong. This is just a, you know, casual sort of informal opportunity for us to all be doing the same thing and see that despite all of our different environments, all the different situations, traveling overseas, maybe traveling to grandma's house, maybe summer camp, maybe summer school, maybe no school, you know, any of those things. So Colleen, thank you so much. I'm so glad you joined, Colleen. Thank you for sharing and compiling and aggregating all this data for us so that we could have this at our fingertips to look back on. And so, you know, Colleen just aggregates this based on the comments that people shared. So we weren't putting together boxes to say, okay, pick one of these that you're feeling. We just left it completely, absolutely abstract for you to just say, what are you feeling? There's no right or wrong. There's no success or failure. This study has, as far as I'm concerned, this study is a complete success because people are feeling they're a part of something. People are feeling like they have resources now. People are feeling like they have a voice, that they can advocate for themselves, for their children. And to me, that's a complete success. So, but I thought this was a really cool slide to be able to show you that for all 4 weeks, better sleep, feeling rested, and feeling restored was an absolute common thread. And then this week, we had increased in expressive language more so than ever before. And that is really significant and really huge, especially when we're talking about children that might be on the spectrum, children that are having sensory processing disorder, children that might be nonverbal. So this is absolutely, absolutely critical to take a look at these pieces of data and say, wow, this is significant. And even if you didn't experience that, that's really an opportunity for you to tap into perhaps some other oils that really might be able to support you in that way. So week 4, obviously we see that our top ones are better sleep, feeling restored, increase in expressive language, feeling calm and staying calm in stressful situations, increased focus and compliance and confidence and productivity. And then you can see that those are pretty common across the board. with self-care and vivid dreams. And self-care is something that we really need to take a daily approach with. So self-care is not just once a month, go get a pedicure, or once a month, read a book or have tea, or, have some quiet time for you. Self-care should really be factored into every single day. Even if that means locking the door to the bathroom, turning on the fan and reading your book, or, just drowning out the noise of anyone, anywhere in your house, or getting up 30 minutes earlier so that you can have some quiet time to set your intentions for the day. But this is really great. I love this a lot. And week 3, it looks like there was a dip in responses, and that's very common. I think that when we get to that 3-week mark, that's the 21 days where that creates a habit. And that's very hard for people. It's very hard to stay disciplined and to follow through with things, especially when we're traveling, when it's summertime, when the kids might be at grandma, grandpa's, the kids might be at camp, they might not be in your care all day long, or their care providers might not be on board with oils. Beth is sharing that it's been so amazing to and enlightening to see the reactions that we all had to this oil. So many different individualized reactions. It's such a wonderfully personal oil and seems to reach us with, her comment won't come up, reach us where our greatest need might be. Thank you, Beth. That is so true. And we really appreciate all of your insightful observations and comments. It's really great. And so I want you to feel encouraged that this is just the start, but I want you to take this, and we'll talk about this a little bit more on Wednesday when we kind of do our 30 days done wrap up. I just want you to be thinking about using this model for discipline in all the areas of your wellness. And there are so many ways that you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone and tackle all of these at one time, especially with your lifelong vitality vitamins, especially with your probiotic and your digestive enzymes. Those things can help with your sleep, with your nutrition, with your mood, with your focus, with your energy, with your digestion, with your water intake, and it's a form of self-care. So I want you to start seeing and observing how all of these things really, really play a role all together. So with that said, we're going to shift now into our wellness pipeline check-in. And I would like you to grab your journal, your piece of paper, whatever it is, wherever you've been documenting your rollerball usage or your soft gel intake, all of that, and grab that. And also, before I forget, don't forget that you can use your 15 milliliter dropper tops from Share Oils in your DDR bottle. So it doesn't go all the way down to the bottom, but of course, when you get low, you can just kind of like tip the bottle a little to the side. But this makes refilling your roller really, really simple, because this is really easy to use dropper tops when you're using your oil. So don't forget to snag your Share Oils Root and Petal Rollerball. Colleen's saying, talk about transition. I'm going to be going through withdrawal, not checking in with you every Sunday. I know. Yeah, and you'll have to let me know, what are your intentions for the future? And be thinking about that, because I'm going to ask that question to you before Wednesday. So today's the 29th. Tomorrow is the 30th day. 30 days of DDR tomorrow. 30th day. Tomorrow's the last day for check-ins. And after that, I want you to be thinking, what are your plans? What are your plans for moving forward? How are you going to support yourself? How are you going to support your children? And we'll talk about that in the next slide a little bit. So with that said, we're going to go through our wellness pipelines. Grab your journal, your piece of paper, your log, whatever you have. I'm going to be participating too, because I have been every week. And I want you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 for all these. So how was your sleep this week? Were you waking up feeling rested, or were you having trouble getting restful sleep at night? And the other thing is too, that with this, I didn't really realize that, in the beginning when I started taking this blend, that it was going to really be such a great tool for me for getting restful sleep. Because now I take it right before bed. So before I used to take my Serenity sleep gels and I'd have them in my nightstand. Now I have an extra bottle of the DDR Prime gels, or you can use your rollerball. You can have this in your nightstand handy for you. And I just take that before bed. So, or, if you are in the kitchen, you can grab it and go up to bed with you, or have a swig of water, or whatever you do before you head upstairs to go to bed. And that really helped me, because it was just allowing my body to slip into that really nice restorative sleep that I so very much need. But, if you were taking it maybe at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock after dinner, and then you're not going to bed until 10, you might find it more beneficial for you to take right before bed. So if you're having different experiences than you might want to, you can always play around with the timing of your usage to make it work best for you. But, definitely choose your own adventure as always. So sleep, I want to know from scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being that you need the most work. So give yourself a score for this past week that we just completed, which is week 4. The next one is your nutrition. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to rate your nutrition for me. And this is, are you taking the time to meal plan? Are you having healthy snacks in the fridge? Are you soaking your produce in lemon water before you chop it up and dry it up and put it in the fridge so that you have easy grab and go options when you're on the go and you're not reaching for that drive-through? Are you making good choices when you're at restaurants? Are you choosing to be really mindful of the food that you're putting in your body? Because garbage in and garbage out. So you can be taking all the amazing supplements and using all the amazing oils that you want, but if you're not feeding your body with the right fuel, then unfortunately your body can't operate properly. So nutrition on a scale of 1 to 10. Mood and emotional balance is next. So I want you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. I know, Robin, it is so hard to believe that it is day 29. I cannot believe it. It is very, very hard to believe. The time just really flies by when we're sharing all these observations with everybody and just enjoying this experience of the collective joy that we're feeling. So mood and emotions on a scale of 1 to 10. And then the next one is your productivity and your focus. So did you practice your amazing rule of 3 either the night before or in the morning? Make sure that you are clearly defining the way you're going to be using your energy for the day. So when you wake up or the night before, having a clear, defined intention for your day ahead. What are the 3 things that you absolutely have to get done today, and what things need to get done first? So those 3 things should be the first things that you do. And it's very hard. It's very easy to be squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. That needs to get done. So-and-so is calling me. Oh, there's some notifications. Oh, my social media. But you really want to come to your day with intention, and that will help you feel so much more confident and accomplished, and you won't feel as frazzled with the kids. You won't feel maybe as frazzled with those around you because you'll feel like you have control over the day. So on a scale of 1 to 10, your productivity and your focus, your ability to focus on getting those things done, feeling like you're in charge of your day and that the clock is not against you. The next one is your exercise. So were you intentionally moving your body, taking a walk, getting sweaty, doing an exercise video, walking around the neighborhood with your family? Rachel, thank you so much. What are you doing for your body to get your heart rate pumping, to move your body, to get your metabolism going? Share with me on a scale of 1 to 10 for your exercise this past week. The next one is your digestion. So are you prioritizing your digestion? Did you take your probiotic and your digestive enzyme before bed every night so that you could wake up and have a nice healthy bowel movement, get your filter organs moving forward and feeling good? Because the gut is your second brain, and the gut is such a really critical part to your emotional balance. And when your gut is out of balance, it affects your mood. So it's important that we prioritize our digestion. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable was your digestion this week? Were you having comfortable, frequent bowel movements each day? Were you having bloating or gas or discomfort or maybe some intestinal reflux or anything like that? So share on a scale of 1 to 10 your digestion. The next one is water intake, which is also linked to digestion. So when we are staying hydrated, our organs and our intestines are staying hydrated, which allows us to push anything that our body doesn't need out and about and out of there, better out than in. So it's important to stay hydrated and make sure that you are drinking your water with lemon or wild orange or grapefruit or lime. As I take a sip of my lemon water. So on a scale of 1 to 10, making sure that you're drinking throughout the day water, you're staying hydrated, especially out in the heat. It's super duper hot out, and I want to make sure that you're not getting dehydrated and that you're staying hydrated for your insides as well, which is going to help your mood and really all of those areas come together. So on a scale of 1 to 10. And then your last but not least, self-care practices. On a scale of 1 to 10, did you take some time, 3 to 4 times this week to prioritize yourself? Did you paint your nails? Did you take a magnesium bath? Did you have a cup of hot tea and read a book? Did you have lunch with a friend? Did you tell a friend how much you appreciate them? Did you, sleep in? Did you have an opportunity to have a date night with your spouse? On a scale of 1 to 10, your self-care. It's really, really important that when we feel like we are important, when we feel like we are making time to rebalance ourselves and do something that we really love for nobody else but us, that we assign 0 guilt. That's zero guilt. No guilt should be assigned to any of your self-care practices. It doesn't mean that you're not a good mom because you need time for yourself. It doesn't mean you're not a good wife because you need time for yourself. It doesn't mean you're not a good girlfriend. It doesn't mean you're not a good sister or mom or daughter or grandma. If you need time for yourself, because we all do, and it doesn't make you a martyr if you are wearing yourself thin and getting sick because you are not prioritizing your own self-care. So on a scale of 1 to 10, And then I also want you to be taking a look at your journal and looking through these past weeks and seeing how are these numbers changing from our pre-launch week? How are these numbers changing from week 1, week 2, and week 3, and now week 4? Okay, and then looking ahead and setting up for success for the school year. So reminders, using your oils. You can be diffusing at bedtime. Grab some diffuser jewelry for school. This is a great one, especially if your kiddos are feeling maybe self-conscious about pulling their oils out, or if the school administration is not that supportive about that. You can have diffuser jewelry on them, just a little lava rock bracelet like I have. This is black and it's just lava beads and they're porous. So you drop the oils on there and they stay really refreshed throughout the day. And so, you can just kind of grab a little whiff of your oils if you need to. Creating a healthy routine for sleep is really important. And I know it's hard and it's going to take sacrifice, but it's really, really worth it so that your kids can have that sense of routine. They know what's expected of them. Carrying your rollers with you for those big emotions. So if you're driving your kids to school, have those rollers handy in your purse or your diaper bag for daycare or for wherever they're going. Also making sure that you're staying consistent with your probiotics, and the PB Assist Junior is a great option for the littles. Anyone that is under 4 years old can do a half, and then 4 years old and above can do a whole one. And so, like I mentioned before, your gut health is linked with your emotional health. So it's really important that you prioritize your gut health, and that can really help balance your emotions in a huge, huge way. The other one is for setting up for success for the school year is doing meal planning. Involve your kids. Have this be a sensory activity where they are taking responsibility for the family meals. They're picking meals. They're deciding what they want for lunch in advance. So maybe you can have a whiteboard chart where, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, this is what they have for lunch. And Tuesday, Thursday, this is what they have for lunch. If they're bringing lunch from home. And that way you're not arguing. It's diffusing some of that tension there. They can help you craft the shopping list for meals. So whatever things that they might want for breakfast, lunches, and dinners, they can, as a family, you all can decide what foods you're going to purchase, what foods you're going to have on hand. And so they can help contribute to the responsibility, which is also an act of self-care for you, because, that responsibility falls on you if you are the primary kind of parent that is, sort of keeping things moving forward with the lunches and with the meal prep and getting dinner on the table each night so that you can facilitate a healthier sleep routine for the kids. So whatever that looks like for the ages of your children, that's up for you to decide. But however you decide for that routine, it doesn't matter what time that they go to bed, but the routine should be the same. So dinner, bath time, bedtime, diffuser, oil them up, have story time, quiet time, snuggles, and go to bed. Whatever that structure is, however you set that up, it is going to be so valuable and healthy for your kids if you have that structure created. And if you don't have it already created, it's time to create that. The summer is a perfect opportunity to start creating new habits for the new school year. Also, this is one of my favorite ones, especially because a lot of my Oilers have multiple children, and it is very, very important to declutter the schedule. Scale back on extracurricular activities. If your kids are arguing with you about practicing for their music lessons or practicing their sport or getting all their equipment ready in time or hustling out the door, and then you're finding that you have to drive through Chick-fil-A just to get a dinner, just to get dinner fed to them before 9 p.m., it's time to scale back. And there are lots of things that you can do in the summertime, camps. There are lots of activities that you can do that are Saturday mornings only. But if your extracurricular activities that you have planned for your kids are creating tension, arguments, disruption, and forcing you to feel like you don't have a choice but to get drive-through for dinner every night, then it's time to declutter the schedule. And that means healthy boundaries for you first. This is not about only making your children happy. It's about you feeling like you can control, that you can come to the day with balance and that you're not feeling out of control and overscheduled. Because if you feel that way, your children are picking up on that. And then you're getting frustrated because you don't have any bandwidth left to give. So especially if you have multiple children, even if you don't, I would encourage you to look at the schedule of extracurricular activities and see what you can scale back on and incorporate more unstructured exploration time for free play, riding their bike, just going outside and playing, or if it's raining, having some friends over from the neighborhood to just play and do whatever. Robin's saying some of her students are so overbooked, and she agrees with this. It's really hard. I observe a lot of things, and my Oilers come to me with challenges that they want to work on. And one of the first things I tell them is you need to say no. What can you say no? What can you take off your plate? And that doesn't make you a bad mom. It just makes you a better mom for saying, I know my limits and I want to teach my children how to have healthy boundaries. So if you're racing from activity to activity to activity every single night and you feel like you just want to cry in your minivan, it is time to say no. And saying no to some of those things will bring your family closer together because it allows more unstructured playtime. It allows them to facilitate all those communication skills that you want to work on with them, being able to tell you how they're feeling, be able to tell you what they need. But if you're racing around, of course they're not getting a good quality sleep, or of course they're frustrated or they're feeling anxious, because our anxiety is being felt by them and they can feel that and it affects them tremendously. So if there's a way for you to do anything to prepare for this school year, let it be to say no to being overscheduled. Pick one activity for each kid. And I mean, that can be a lot, because if you have 3 children, that's 3 soccer practices or whatever it is, it's a lot. Exactly, Robin. And that's a great way to reframe. And instead of saying no to that activity, we're saying yes to unstructured playtime. That if you don't do this structured activity, it gives you more time to play with your friends, riding bikes. It gives you more time to color and read and draw and, do whatever it is that you want to do after school. Relax a little bit, do your crafts, play music, dance, do something that makes you feel happy. But it's just part of the healthy boundaries. That saying no doesn't mean it has to be a negative thing. Saying no is a positive thing, because like Robin is saying, it means saying yes to something else that might serve you better. So clear roles and responsibilities for ownership and teamwork is also super, super important. It's important that your kids know clearly what their roles are in the household every day. And it is important that if they don't have any chores, if they don't have any roles or responsibilities, it is time to start that. It is actually never too young. I mean, obviously, if they're a baby, they're not going to be able to put their laundry away or put their dishes in the sink. But as long as they're walking and talking and they are able to, if they have the capability to be able to help out to the ability that they are able to, it's important. And I would encourage you to talk to your care providers and your supporters and their school to kind of craft together, determine together. Maybe Colleen can help us with some of this, depending on their age and depending on what limitations or special needs they might have. Based on their particular age group and their personal abilities, you as a family can craft a short list of roles and responsibilities that they can help contribute to, because they will feel such ownership and confidence by feeling like they are a part of the family, like they're a part of the group, they are a part of the team, and they are helping create this closer-knit family environment where you feel comfortable expressing yourself and talking about these things that might be upsetting you. And then maybe we have less meltdowns because we can articulate our words and articulate those bigger emotions into, Mommy, this hurt my feelings when so-and-so did this, versus a screaming fit or throwing a glass across the room or smashing a plate on the floor. So it's being able to take that energy and refocus it into something that makes them feel so empowered. Olivia loves helping around the house. Now, it's important that you establish that early so that they understand that connection. But even if you don't, it's time to start now. There's no reason that you can't establish that set of roles and responsibilities clearly with the kids, whatever age they are. And then along those same lines, household expectations. Clearly define the household expectations for all family members. So creating household goals, a household vision board, a family meeting during dinner, either once a week, hi Rose, once a week or maybe monthly, creating those goals as a family, that if everyone cooperates, if everyone wakes up and is not arguing with mommy and daddy about what they're going to wear today, or if we set our clothes out the night before for 1 week, then as a family we get to pick something that we do for fun, like we go play miniature golf or we go to the pool as a family, and we get to pick what we do as a family if everyone chips in for the greater good. And then lastly, open communication with your child's school team, with administrators, and with care providers. It's really, really important that we have super open communication. I know this past year, Olivia had a lot of separation anxiety getting on the school bus. And as soon as it started, I immediately called and emailed the guidance counselor and the assistant principal, and they got involved. We started having a dialogue every single day. We would talk about it. They incentivized her with allowing her to feed the turtles in the office every day that she was getting on the bus without having a meltdown, without just having a complete tantrum. Every single day that she did that, it was positive reinforcement. And after a couple after some rough patches, and we started using different oils, and we had the assistant principal actually come to the bus stop and explain to her that she is brave, she is powerful, and she can do this. And when she was able to see that she could do it and have that reward waiting for her at school by getting to feed the turtles every morning, it became something that she felt so excited about doing. And every morning she felt so proud to be in charge of feeding the turtles. And it was very sad for her when the school year ended, because she got used to feeding the turtles every single morning. And that created this new dialogue in her brain where she knew that there was something positive on the other end of that. And she could link the two because of showing her this repetition of day in, day out, that when you do this, you get a reward. When you don't do this, you don't get a reward. And it is a really important opportunity for you as a parent, and then for you to keep that dialogue going with the administrators at school. So lastly, just a reminder to post your final check-ins in the pinned post, and the study is going to end on July 30th, so that is tomorrow night. So tomorrow night is the last time that you are responsible for sharing your check-ins with your 3 times a day usage. And I will see you guys live on Wednesday evening, and that's when I will announce the raffle winner as well. So someone who has stayed consistent with sharing and posting every single week as asked will be entered to win the raffle for the Root and Petal gift certificate, so you can go shopping and get yourself some goodies to congratulate you on staying consistent for 30 days during the study. So if you are watching the replay, feel free to comment below with any questions or comments, and Colleen and I can answer any questions you might have, especially if you want help with crafting some roles and responsibilities that might be really beneficial for you to start incorporating with your kiddos, depending on what their developmental abilities are and depending on their age. It would be a really great opportunity for you to start that now, especially as school's starting in the next 2 weeks here in Northern Virginia. I don't know about where you are, but probably school, I would bet, is starting very soon if it hasn't started already. So this is a great opportunity for you to take these experiences and take this knowledge that you have of seeing the benefits of using your oils consistently every single day with discipline. And if this oil blend did not work for you, maybe if you didn't see the results that you were hoping for, reach out and let me know. There are so many other oils that we can experiment with and we can try. There are some nutritional things we can do, like gluten and dairy and processed sugar. Sometimes corn and sometimes peanuts can really affect mood in our littles, especially if they are consuming anything with red dye or yellow dye. Some of those snacks might have hidden dyes in there that can actually be really serious behavior modifiers for our little ones, and they can kind of become little monsters when they have those chemicals that sometimes their body has an adverse reaction. So there are so many options for you. Don't feel discouraged if you weren't able to stay disciplined. Don't feel discouraged if you weren't able to stay consistent because of whatever happened in your life. You can always start tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning is a brand new day. You always have so many options open to you. So never feel discouraged. We're always here for support, even long after the study is over. So I will see you guys in just a couple days for just an overall global recap on everything that we've covered and everything that we've done. And reminder for you all to just continue using your blend today, the rest of the night, and then tomorrow. And I look forward to seeing you guys then. And as always, if you have questions, just reach out to me. I would love to help you and craft any support modules that you might need. So thank you guys so much for joining me for another Sunday night session, our final one. It has been so much fun for me, and I'm so grateful for everyone that has contributed and shared and been open and raw with us, and flexible and open to trying new things. So I will see you guys Wednesday. Have a great evening.